They say the scariest sound in the world isn't a scream, it's silence. A home that was once filled with laughter, now still. Dinner plates left on the table. A television still glowing in an empty room. And a family gone without a trace. This is the story of the Morrisons, a family that vanished overnight. A mystery that would leave an entire town haunted for years, and investigators asking the same question: how can an entire family simply disappear? The town of Ashgrove, nestled deep in the forests of northern Oregon, had always been the kind of place where nothing really happened. Population just under 3,000, a single main street, one diner, one gas station, and everyone knew everyone else. Among its quiet rows of homes sat a pale yellow two-story house on Pine Hill Road, home to the Morrison family. Daniel, a 42-year-old high school teacher, Laura, his wife and a local nurse, and their two children, Sophie and Eli, aged 12 and 9. Neighbors would describe them as the perfect family. They attended church on Sundays, hosted barbecues in the summer, and volunteered at school fundraisers. Daniel loved woodworking, often seen fixing things in the yard. Laura was the kind of nurse who remembered every patient's name. And the kids, inseparable, bright, and polite, rode their bikes up and down Pine Hill every afternoon. Nothing about them suggested tragedy. Nothing hinted at the darkness that was coming. But on the morning of October 13, 2019, everything changed. By sunrise, the Morrison home stood still, curtains drawn, cars in the driveway, but no one answering the door. And from that moment, Ashgrove would never sleep the same again. To understand what happened that night, you need to know that beneath the perfect surface, the Morrisons had cracks forming quietly. Over the summer, Daniel had lost his teaching position. Budget cuts, he told people. But in truth, there had been rumors of conflict with the school board, even an investigation into mismanagement of funds. Laura had been working double shifts at the county hospital to keep up with bills. Friends noticed she seemed exhausted, withdrawn, as if she was carrying something she couldn't talk about. Then came whispers that Daniel had been spending more time in Portland, consulting work, he said, though no one could confirm with who or where. The couple who once smiled through every church event had started showing small fractures, cancelled plans, tight smiles, nervous laughter. And for the first time, Laura confided in her sister that she felt like she didn't know her husband anymore. Still, no one expected what came next. A small town like Ashgrove doesn't think in terms of disappearances, only misunderstandings. But by the end of that week, no one could deny something was very wrong. October 12, 2019, 9:17 p.m. A storm rolled over Ashgrove. Thunder shook the windows, rain pelting against the glass like fingertips. Neighbors later said they heard nothing unusual. One woman recalled the faint hum of a television, another saw the porch lights still glowing around midnight. Then, silence. At 6:45 a.m., the following morning, a paper bar noticed the Morrison mailbox overflowing. By noon, their neighbor, Margaret Fielding, tried calling Laura, no answer. When she went next door to check, she saw something that froze her in place. Through the kitchen window, the breakfast table was still set. 4 bowls, a box of cereal, milk left out on the counter, spoiled. The family car was still in the driveway. But inside the house, nothing moved. By that evening, Margaret called the police. 2 officers arrived around 7:10 p.m., expecting to find the family out of town. Instead, what they found was something far stranger. The front door was locked from the inside. There were no signs of struggle, no blood, no broken glass, no forced entry. Upstairs, the children's beds were neatly made, pajamas folded. Laura's phone lay charging on the nightstand. Daniel's wallet and keys sat on the counter. It was as if the Morrisons had simply vanished in the middle of their lives. One officer later described it. It felt like the house was holding its breath. Everything in its place, but no one left to live there. Word spread fast. By the next morning, the Morrison case had already drawn media attention. Local news vans lined Pine Hill Road. Reporters whispered theories about abduction, witness protection, or foul play. Police conducted a full search of the property. Cadaver dogs were brought in, but they found nothing, no scent trail leading out of the home. Security footage from nearby houses showed no movement past 9:30 p.m. the previous night. The only strange clue came from a traffic camera 2 miles away. At 2:12 a.m., it captured a silver Toyota minivan, the same model as Laura's, driving out of town toward Forest Route 9, a desolate stretch of road leading into the Cascades. But when investigators searched that route, they found no trace of the vehicle. 3 days later, on October 16th, hikers reported something deep within the forest, a burnt patch of ground roughly 20 miles from Ashgrove. There, they found what appeared to be metal fragments and melted glass, possibly from a vehicle. Forensics later confirmed it was Laura Morrison's Toyota minivan. But there were no bodies, no footprints, no sign of anyone leaving the vehicle. For weeks, investigators scoured every inch of the forest. Helicopters, drones, volunteer search parties, nothing. The Morrisons had vanished, and the forest seemed determined to keep it secret. Detectives began reconstructing the Morrisons' final days. They discovered that Daniel had withdrawn nearly $18,000 in cash from a joint account 3 days before the disappearance. Laura's sister claimed she had mentioned wanting to leave everything behind during a phone call, but couldn't say why. Then came a more unsettling detail. Daniel's laptop revealed a series of encrypted emails exchanged with an unknown address, messages discussing starting over, new identities, and crossing the border. The IP traces led to a cafe in Portland. But the final email, sent just hours before the family disappeared, read simply, "It's time." Investigators began to consider the unthinkable. Had the Morrisons planned their own disappearance? Meanwhile, cadaver dogs led police to a creek near where the vehicle was found. There, divers uncovered a small suitcase buried beneath the water. Inside were children's clothing, family photos, and a passport belonging to Daniel Morrison, burned along the edges. The discovery raised more questions than answers. Why destroy identification but leave sentimental items behind? Why flee into the wilderness instead of disappearing quietly? Detectives followed dozens of leads. Witnesses in Northern California claimed to have seen a family matching their description at a gas station. Another reported sighting came from Montana, a woman who said she saw a tired-looking man with 2 children buying supplies. But none of it could be confirmed. Months passed. The case grew cold. And Ashgrove moved on, or tried to. Until nearly a year later, in August 2020, when something resurfaced. A construction crew clearing land 15 miles north of Forest Route 9 found a buried steel container, sealed with bolts. Inside were notebooks, photographs, and personal belongings, all belonging to the Morrison family. Among the items was a small digital camera, water-damaged but recoverable. When investigators recovered the data, what they found chilled everyone. The last photo, timestamped October 12, 2019, 10:43 p.m., showed Laura and the 2 children sitting beside a campfire. They looked calm, even happy. Daniel, behind the camera, had taken the shot. But the final video, recorded less than an hour later, told a different story. It was dark. You could hear wind, faint sobbing, and Daniel's voice saying, "It's the only way. They'll never find us now." The clip ended abruptly, no context, no location. Experts analyzed the background noise and identified a nearby creek matching one close to where the burned van was found. Despite renewed searches, no remains were ever discovered. The family had vanished and left only echoes. Officially, the Morrison disappearance remains unsolved. There's no evidence of homicide, no clear sign of abduction, and no confirmed proof that they are alive. The FBI maintains the case as missing, presumed deceased, though even among investigators, theories differ. Some believe Daniel orchestrated a family disappearance, escaping debts, shame, or something darker. Others think they were victims of an elaborate abduction, possibly linked to his secret financial dealings. And a small but persistent group insists the Morrisons are still out there, living under new identities somewhere far away. In Ashgrove, the yellow house still stands. For years, no one wanted to live there. The mailbox rusted, the yard overgrown, children dared each other to peek through its dusty windows. Inside, some furniture still sits exactly where it was, as if the family might return any moment. The case continues to draw attention from online sleuths and documentary producers. But for those who knew them, it's not a mystery to be solved, it's a wound that never healed. Sometimes, evil isn't an intruder in the night. Sometimes, it's the choices we make when life feels impossible to live. The Morrison story isn't just about disappearance, it's about escape, about what people do when they feel trapped by their own lives. Did they run from danger? Or did they become it? Some say the forest still remembers the sound of footsteps, the flicker of firelight, the whisper of a man's voice carried through the trees. Others say it was never meant to be understood. Because maybe the truth isn't buried out there. Maybe it's buried within us, in the quiet corners of our hearts, where fear meets desperation. What do you think? Did the Morrisons vanish to start anew, or did something else claim them that night? Thank you for watching. This was the family that vanished overnight. Stay safe, and remember, sometimes, the quietest homes hide the loudest secrets.